Hi, it's Charles the Redneck Nerd here on basically, in my opinion, opening game weekend of American football for the college. Wearing my colors, as you can see, Boomer Sooner. And today we're going to talk about two knives that should be the same but aren't. We're talking a first generation drop forged survivalist and the second generation drop forged survivalist. Now, the second generation has already been modified. Does have a lanyard hold. It has a 5-inch handle length, 8-inch blade length, double coating, silver coating on top, black coating underneath. Of course, like all of the Drop Forge series originals, it does have a 1mm scallop in each side. Well, about the size of 1.5 of my fingers. It runs about that length down the handle of the blade. This was originally kind of supposed to be where your fingers kind of fell, but with that metal handle, all metal handle, it's horrible. Now this one has 1 5/8 inches from the back of the handle to the belly of the handle. The second generation, this is one of the big differences, has 1 1/4 inches from the spine of the handle to the belly of the handle. In addition, it does have handle scales. Most of everything about these two is the same. The blade thickness is about 1mm difference, with the original Drop Forge Survivalist, at least my edition, coming in at a little over 6mm, so it is a full 1/4 inch thick. The new Drop Forge Survivalist comes in a little under 5mm, so you've got about 1 1/4mm difference in thickness. In addition, because it does have handle scales, the scooped out area is thicker. It is still full tang under here, but it's about only about a millimeter's worth of metal in the scalloped area. Does use hex pins, hex screws to hold the handle scales on. The handle scales are some sort of plastic or polymer with kind of a asphalt gravelly texture. It feels really good in my hand, and I've got a extra large glove hand, and I love it. Those differences, and like I said, the height difference here is 1 1/4. It's a 1 1/4 inch, so you've got about almost a full 1/2 inch less height in the handle. So it makes for a really good grip, and I would say for anybody from medium-sized hands up is going to love this grip. It seems to also be more rounded and less squared than the original. The original, because it was just a plain hunk of metal, of bare metal, I did the same thing I did with my Drop Forged Hunter. I took that microfoam tape, padded tape, put one full layer in to just build those scallops up to even with the handle. Then took Wilson tennis racket grip tape, turned it around backwards. So I was basically painting with a brush with super glue on it, 3 inches or so at a time of the Wilson wrap tape. Wrap it around the handle, and glue it, do that 3 or so inches at a time till you've got the whole thing on where you want, and you're pretty much good to go. This one weighs 18.3 ounces. It feels like a very substantial knife, and because of the way the grip is, I should have probably put a couple more layers of that padded tape in here to kind of round this grip out a little bit. It does fatigue your hand when you're chopping. I think some of that is being contributed to by the height of of the handle area, because 1 5/8 inches from the top of this spine to the belly of the spine versus 1 1/4, even in my hands, means you've got your hands spread out a little more. you're having to work harder to hold on to that handle. In heavy chopping use, it's going to tire you out a lot quicker. That's one of the reasons I put leather thongs on both of them for my, shoot, I forgot the word, but oh well, you know what I'm talking about. You can actually see it. So that I can just slide my hand through and make sure this knife wasn't going anywhere. Even if my hand got so fatigued, it started to fall out of it. It's not really going to go anywhere. That's about as far as it can go. I did the same for this one, but this one only weighs 14 ounces. The 1 1/4 height from the belly of the handle to the back of the handle means it fits a lot better. With the handle scales, the sides are also slightly more rounded. This feels a lot better. And I would probably consider this a pure fighting knife because it just feels great in the hand and it is quick and responsive. Would I do everything I would do with the other one? Yeah, unless you're wanting me to baton a 6-inch thick log, then I would take the other one because when I first got it, I had been watching too many cold steel proof videos where they do stupid stuff like that and baton through about a 3-foot long log, about a little over 5 inches thick. I wish I had filmed it. It was several years ago. Never even thought about it at the time. It did the job. But man, at times I was sitting there thinking, I'm going to break my new knife. Now, like I said, we'll go over the specs one last time. Both have 8-inch length blades. Both have 5-inch long handles. The original is 6 millimeters, a little over 6 millimeters thick, so it's a full 1/4 inch thick. This one on the handle, from the spine to the belly, is 1 5/8 inches. It is a very flat handle. It weighs 18.3 ounces. The new one, the one that you can actually get for about $65 at Amazon, Knife Depot, Blade HQ, anywhere that's going to carry cold steel knives, the real world price is going to be somewhere around $65 to $70. Also has the 8-inch blade. Also has the 5-inch handle. This one, though, has handle scales. They've reduced the height from the belly to the spine of the handle from 1 5/8 inches to 1 1/4 inches. This one is basically about 4.8 millimeters thick, just a hair under 5 millimeters thick. So it's still fairly thick. This one weighs 14 ounces. They will both come with the Securix sheath, which I showed you how to modify in my Drop Forged Hunter series, Hunter video, to prevent rubbing on the blade. Simple. File, just run it in the sheath all the way to the front and back between 20 and 30 times. It'll relieve the kydex or whatever cold steel chooses to call this, so that it's not rubbing on your blade edge. Both do take a good edge. You grab a piece of paper. We'll look at how sharp this one is. Looks like I may need to actually take this one and do some work on it. Or it could just be that I'm nervous on camera for cutting paper and I'm not doing it well. Although this one does seem to want to cut better. Both of them do seem to have burrs on them, so at the very least I do need to go and strop them. And then when I say that, it cuts the full length of the paper. Maybe it was me. But I do have to give some shout outs, like I always do, to people that I really respect and who have encouraged me to continue on with my little video making adventures. The first is Scab at Choir Boys Cutlery. To him, I also have to say, the dogs looked awesome today, brother. 49-3, the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs took out the Oregon Ducks. Second shout out is to my buddy Gruggs at Legion Tactical Cutlery. Trust me, if you want to watch somebody spend 30 minutes showing you every step of the way as he works with a knife, and you'll know everything about the knife, that's the man you have to go to. He will show you everything he does, and it is impressive. Then I have to mention Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Joe is the director, producer extraordinaire of Steel Forged in Fire, Sword and Knife. He, along with Scab, run Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. It's basically a live series where they get blade designers and even owners like Greg Medford of Medford Knives to come on and talk. And you can go on and ask them questions on the live, things that you want to know about how they came up with the design, what their process was, or how they even make their knives with someone like Greg Medford. I want to thank you all for stopping by. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much I do. And I want to say, stay safe this week. And remember, the judges won't be in until Tuesday. So if you get arrested for something stupid tonight or this weekend, you're going to have a long stay. Take care, everybody.